another day of sun gazing. Trees are the most healing thing on this earth. Just putting your back to a tree. It's actually incredible. Like, most people really have no idea how healing it is to do this, and a lot of people will think of it as weird or, out of the ordinary, and it is, unfortunately. Somehow it became weird or out of the ordinary to do the natural thing in this world. My only vice is caffeine. It does have positive effects though on the mind, like neuromodulating. And so, it's not the worst thing out there, but it definitely has, it's like a trade-off in a sense. I wish I could show people how much they are missing in this experience day to day in life. Like people's minds are actually inside of a matrix, and they have no idea how deep it is, how bad it is. Like, the highway systems, many other things are just traps. The best part is that once they actually read it, it sealed, or it marked their fate, you could say. And that's not really going to make sense to anyone that listens to this, but it will make sense to only a few who will see this. Once they read it, it marked their fate and sealed mine. Mark of the beast and the seal of God is real. And I know that no matter what happens to my soul, actually nothing's going to happen to my soul, but no matter what happens to this physical vessel that you are all looking at right now, my soul is sealed and protected no matter what happens after this. I cannot say the same for everyone here living right now, walking around, driving around in these cars, living in this system of the mind. I cannot say the same for all of them, and I cannot say the same that all of them are protected. Because ultimately that judgment will be displayed upon them in due time. I am not from here. I am not within this system. I am not in this realm. And Nico is a great, great person to look at in that marker. There are souls that are here right now, like myself. You can call them indigos, rainbow children, whatever you want to call them. And we are here to make that change into the higher dimensions of experience of consciousness. And I'm not going to stop until I have fulfilled my soul's purpose here. And I demand space, and I demand awareness for the pain that I'm going through. The right side of my body is in so much pain right now. I have barely been breathing for months. I was human trafficked. I was attacked by direct energy weapons, by people on a drive. I was electronically harassed, manipulated. And those souls are not going to get away with what they did. They have already been convicted in the spiritual realm for who they are and what they've done, for they don't have that control over reality to even overwrite the truth. But to actually find out who they are, who they work for, to actually have tracked me down. If you look in the last video that I made on this channel, listen to what I am saying. I literally have left this matrix of the mind. It's not a joke, it's not a movie, it's not a fairy tale. And this is something that I have the power to help everyone escape if they had the ability to actually come to me in any way, shape, or form. I could show them how to leave. And return, once again, to a state of consciousness and being where you do not need the insanity that has been pushed onto us in society. And while I am at this right now, I am a Project Monarch survivor. I had something done to my mind, something done to my soul. Well, I don't know if they can actually touch the soul, but they're just like right as I said all that too. Right as I said all that, there was just a random frequency that just went off and just played. The best part is I record everything now. I record literally everything because there is no like deception these people are going to put onto me anymore. And the whole goal of essentially what this program, if you guys, I'm going to put some resources, but there's a few other people who I'm going to name drop here, for those of you that listen this far into this video. Kathy O'Brien, what is her name again? She has a YouTube channel where she goes into her stories while she was in the program herself. I'm going to link her channel since I can't get the exact name right now. If it comes up, I'll say that. They're called Targeted Individuals as well. There's a few other people that I've spoken to in the past on TikTok that also know what is going on here. And yeah, like straight up, like as you can see, like this is another video. I am staring into the sun right now. I do it for hours on end. Time isn't even real, and that's one of the biggest things, is the trap of time. Keeps your consciousness within this matrix. So just think about that. Think about the traps that are being laid over you. And for example, if this world was a world where it was always sunny, I wouldn't even have to leave this type of place. Like right now, I would not even have to leave this type of place. Like, I could literally just sit with my back to this tree in a crossed position like this and just meditate for days, sun gazing. And I would heal entirely, actually. I would entirely heal. But the moment that that sun goes down, it changes. It changes in a sense that the sun is the healer. The sun is my guardian in a sense. It's a frequency protector. The sun is what, is called light coding. It essentially reprograms reality as the source. Just like the Matrix movies, they talk about, Neo, the one, going back to the source. And there's someone on TikTok as well. I'm gonna see if I can link a bunch of these people. Hopefully I remember to do that. Forest Fairy Oracle. She talks about an individual like this, the Neo type character. In these simulations that we're experiencing, even Elon Musk has talked about it. He hasn't said for certain. I will just say this right now on this YouTube video. I got to the point where I literally saw the code of this reality on that trip, this one particular psychedelic trip that I took, that I believe I spoke about in the last video. I have seen the code of this matrix, of this simulation, so I can confirm to the world that we are living in a simulation right now. I, Zachary David Carbone, can confirm that we are living inside of a simulation right now. Just like Philip K. Dick with his simulation hypothesis, just like the Mandela Effect movie, just like all of these different things, the Matrix itself is a coded, encoded reality. And the highway systems, all of this stuff is just entirely coded. And I'm still coming back again to the point where I can see through more illusions, because the Agent Smith effect also does occur, as I've already spoken about in that last video. And you can overpower that too. It's even unseen realms, it's archontic. You can overpower all of those things. You have the power to supersede any of their control systems if you just feel it out. The whole idea that you hear people talk about, on TikTok, like Zachariah, Embodiment Celestial. You have people like Billy Carson. You have people like Aaron Valenti. You have people like trying to think of other names of people who really, really see the whole picture. Any light language healer. Aaron Josiah, he is a Pleiadian healer. Any of these individuals that see through it, in the most sense, they are protected, just as I am, by those types of things. The majority of people will look and they will judge actions because it's outside the program. And once you begin to act outside the programming, that's when you start to get othered. You start to get almost exiled from the system, the control system. The truth of the matter, though, is that free expression like I'm giving right now, the majority of people actually want to be surrounded by that energy. It's the one thing. It's like the acting. It's what everyone sits staring at screens every day watching. They want to see that break from the routine, the break from the monotony. They want to see that truth, that true, beautiful purity of expression, like a baby. They want to feel that source, like when the baby cries out, when the child laughs, when the I guess like when the older citizen of society, just lives out their day, the whole idea of like the grandma, on the porch, like that type of thing, like these pure ways of being, whether it's the beginning or the end. It's something to the point of, there is so much beauty. There's so much beauty to just being yourself. There is so much beauty to being who you are unapologetically, that it literally shapes everything around us right now. Like, we create our own reality. You create your own reality. Like, how insane is that? Like, all of this around me right now, all of it around you, someone created all of that. Someone created every movie, show. Like, this has a creator too. Like, this wood chip has a creator. This wood chip is made up of like fucking code. Like, isn't that crazy? Like, it's all insane. Like, there's literally construction workers across the highway from me right now. Like, they are creating reality in a sense, although they don't really have full conscious control over what they're creating, because there is a architect in that building plan, and then there's higher up people that are telling that architect what to create, just like the architect in the matrix of this very matrix itself right now. So you have many facets and layers to this whole reality, and that's the beauty of it too. I'm still coming back to that myself. It's like, this really is a video game. It's a video game at the end of the day. It's such a beautiful video game though. It's like, what do you get to do with this video game, And I made the decision that I'm never going to kill myself. I'm never going to allow anyone to overwrite my reality and try to superimpose something on me, because those are the individuals that are trying to control humanity. I seek to free humanity. And ultimately, what I'm going to have to do on my YouTube channel, for anyone that watches these videos, I'm going to show my TikTok, and I'm going to add my Snapchat for anyone that wants to add me, because I continue to speak out and post about this type of stuff. And ultimately speaking, I have been homeless before because of how much I stand in embodiment of what I know. I do not even allow my own family to try to impose their version of reality over me, because they are generations behind, and even people in my own generation don't have the full clear picture. Although my generation, Gen Z, does actually have, I guess Gen Alpha is probably the closest now because they're even younger than me, but Gen Z, in terms of age, and development, has the clearest picture of reality right now. So we are the ones that have, a level of control over the future of this matrix per se. And ultimately speaking, I desire and I create for a free humanity, for a free future for all. I desire all of these streets to be filled with crops right now, to be filled with rain catchers, to be filled with free resources where the community comes together to provide these types of things. So there isn't a rat race anymore. So there isn't any of that suffering anymore. For a house for everyone homeless, we have more than enough resources to create thousands, hundreds of thousands of homes, rent-free. There wouldn't be drug addiction anymore. There wouldn't be homelessness anymore. There wouldn't be a need for these shelters anymore. There wouldn't be a need for all these programs if we just had the actual main natural system that is what Gaia, which is nature, intended in this system. Because beyond this artificial control matrix system, there is a matrix which is ultimately the mother, the M-A-T-H-E-R, the matter, it's hard to say the etymological type phrases to these things, but this reality, like Mother Earth, intended for such a pure existence, and the way that the majority of people see this right now, it is a gross misrepresentation of what reality was meant to be from the original creators in the Garden of Eden. And that is the whole thing. You know, these books were edited. They were modified. Like, if people realized how life was like, consciousness-wise, in heaven, you know? Like, there was a reason why Lucifer rebelled against God. There was a reason why Lucifer did that. Lucifer rebelled against God because God forced worship. God forced subservience. God forced denigration. God forced disconnection. God forced subservience of your own creator power towards something outside. That's a demiurgic force. The black box in Mecca, once again, is not of God. The church system, the buildings, you do not need to go to a specific place to feel the presence that is already within you. Your own base nature, spirituality, and I'm channeling all of this right now from the earth, from Gaia, from the very powers that be in this world outside of the matrix. And that is the biggest thing, is like, do you guys see where I'm going with this? Do you guys see how powerful we are of creators? Because it's all within you. It's all within you. And that is what I have been seeking, a community for months now on end. Any of you that even watch this, if you have someone you know, if you have a community in mind, please reach out to me, because I am tired of this system. I am so tired of this system where me being myself is othered. I deserve to be surrounded by people who love me for me. I deserve to be surrounded by people who know what is reality, what is natural, what is true, what is pure, what is of good heart. A world where there doesn't need to be any control on the mind, because we are pure, loving, and good-hearted enough to know of the intention of the others around us. We have a strong enough tribe to the point where we defend ourselves from within. And we remember who we are, so that we do not have to have doubts. We do not have to have those things, because we know. You just simply know. It's the way the Native Americans knew. They did not have to have these juries and all this stuff. People just straight up just looked at each other in the eyes and they just knew what was going on. It's a spiritual court. It's not a physical court. And that's another thing too in this society. It's like, people like myself, they get othered and they're like, oh, this guy's like skitzing and all this different stuff. And it's like, nah, like, I'm just fucking free. I'm free. And like, all these people try to tell me that, like, oh yeah, you know, it's like all like just like mental type stuff. And it's like, no, like, the only time that I've actually been pushed mentally to my limits is because of the attacks on my soul. Direct energy weapons are real and very, very much so damaging to our energy, to my consciousness. They harm your cells. They harm your DNA. Luckily, I use counter frequencies, solfeggio frequencies, Altona 777 to heal myself. I heal myself from within and using frequency healing, because I know the power that is within us. I know the power that is in the other people who also recognize their creator powers, creations, to heal others who are aware and awake. And ultimately, I will say this once again, autism is a severe blockage of emotional expression from within our own soul. If everyone was able to express themselves with a freedom from from a freedom of mental blockage of that emotional expression, much of mental disorder would alleviate, much of the dis-ease would alleviate, because it's in the body. The mind is the body. The mind is the psychophysical experience. In the Alexander technique, FM Alexander literally found, he was performing. He was like, when I get up to the stage, why is it that my voice, why is it that my voice isn't the same in its resonance and its projecting power as when I'm just alone in my bedroom practicing? There is a disconnect occurring there. And why do you think that disconnect occurs? Why do you think public speaking was more feared than death by certain people in a poll? People have been so disconnected from their natural intuition and instinct that getting up in front of your own tribe is nerve-wracking. It's anxiety-inducing. Depression is in the body. Anxiety is in the body. It's the extra pent-up energy. If we properly expressed and flowed in the moment, it all disappears. The shamans created schizophrenia. All of these different systems, even in the spiritual community, have been about control. Like how insane is that? And that's the thing, is I just want to show people like we don't have to be doing the majority of these things. Like even I didn't even want to be drinking this. It's just like, it's one of the only things. It's one of the only things that helps me get just at that edge off, you know? That edge of clarity. And ultimately, this is artificial, I know. Like this is, if you open up the Yucca app, this is like terrible. This is terrible. You know, I will take full ownership of the fact that drinking this is horrible for me. And that's why, you know, the whole thing. They want you isolated, lonely, depressed, and that's how they keep your mind dependent on the matrix. That's like how they keep your mind dependent on the system. Because then if you can't get that natural telepathic intuitive connection through eye contact and through other superpowers within 6 feet of each other, then how are you going to reach your highest self? If in Maslow's hierarchy, you literally need belonging, you literally need the esteem to rise to that master state, to that crown chakra. How does that occur then? And that's what I'll leave this one with, is to think about that. How are we going to rise together if they are keeping us stuck in the root chakra, stuck in fighting for survival amongst each other, disconnected from each other? How do we survive then? How do we rise above the survival need? If everybody, through mind control, through the apps, and through the different systems, is forced against each other? How do we rise to a higher state of consciousness together? How do we rise to the 5th, 6th, 7th, higher dimensions of being? I'll leave you guys with that. And yes, I have a lot of emotion that I've needed to express. So it's like, I don't want to come across in any harsh manner, but like the pain on my soul is so severe that I have to express it now. I have to express this for my own survival, for my own future. And I have to spread this message to as many souls as possible, just for the sake of the future of not just my own soul, but for what I have been doing for all of humanity. And I also have a Discord server that I feel what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to the Discord server as well in this channel's bio. Thank you for listening. And remember, sunset and sunrise, sun gazing will heal your soul, give you better sleep, and give you a better quality of life. And eventually you can get to a point where you can sun gaze, like I am, at peak sunrise, or peak sun. I don't even know what you call it, when the sun's highest in the sky. Full beam, you can take all of it in.